Hello students, myself Dr. Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. In Physical Pharmaceutics second lecture series, today we have to start a new topic regarding the micromeritics and powder rheology. The topic is very important. It is widely used in the pharmaceutical industries. So in micromeritics and powder rheology, in today's lecture, we will discuss about the introduction of micromeritics, particle size and distribution, mean particle size, number and weight distribution, and the particle number. So objectives of today's lecture to study about the micromeritics and powder rheology, particle size and particle size distribution, average particle size, applications of micromeritics in pharmacy, then frequency distribution curves, number distribution curve, weight distribution curve, then we have to discuss about the particle number and determination of number of particles. So these are the objectives of today's lecture. After completion of today's lecture, the student will be able to know all these things. Now let us start from introduction of micromeritics. So micromeritics is per the name given, it is the science and technology of small particles. So science and technology of small particles, particles size, shape, surface area, and related properties are studied in the branch of micromeritics. The unit of particle size used in this micromeritics is micrometer or micron, or it is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter. As the particle size decreases, surface area always increases. So when we see the example of a substance which having the total surface area 6 square centimeter, when it is particle size is reduced, then total surface area will be 12 square centimeter. Again, when the particles are micronized or particle size is reduced, the surface area will increase in the range of 24 square centimeter. So you can see the surface area increases with increasing increases with the decreasing the particle size. So micromeritics, the science and technology of small particles, was given the name by the scientist Della Valle. So Della Valle gave the name micromeritics. Colloidal dispersions are characterized by particles that are too small to be seen in the ordinary microscope, where the particles of pharmaceutical emulsions and suspensions and the fines of powders fall in the range of optical microscopy. So, on the basis of particle size, we can visualize the particles of particular dosage form or dispersions or substances with the help of either ordinary microscope or maybe due to use of optical microscopy. Particles having the size of coarser powders, tablet, granulations, and granular salt fall within the sieve range. So if the particle size is less, then it fall in the colloidal size, and if the particle size is more than the colloidal size range, then it will be classified in terms of coarse powders. The unit of particle size, as we discussed, is the micrometer, and it is represented like 10 to the power 1 micrometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, or 10 to the power minus 4 centimeter, or 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. If we are using the particle size expression in terms of micrometer, we can express the results in terms of micrometer. So 1 micrometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, or 10 to the power minus 4 centimeter, or 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. So we don't confuse with the micrometer and millimicron. The letter being the symbol for a millimicron, MQ, or it is denoted by 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Millimicron now is most commonly referred to as the nanometer. So if the particle size is very less, it can falls in the range of nano size and can be represented by millimicron or nanometers. 1 millimicron or 1 nanometer equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So it is the science and technology of small particles as we discussed. So knowledge and control of the particle size and the size range of particles are of the very important or significant importance in pharmacy, because the size and surface area of a particle is related with the physical, chemical, and pharmacological properties of a particular drug. So particle size and its surface area is always related with the physical properties as well as chemical properties as well as pharmacological properties of a particular drug. The particle size of a drug can affect its release from dosage form that are administered orally, parenterally, rectally, or topically. So, release from the dosage form for any drug depends on the particle size also. Either it may be administered orally or maybe beside the intestine, parenterally or rectally, or maybe either topical route. In the area of tablet and capsule manufacture, which are the solid dosage forms, control of particle size is essential in achieving the necessary flow properties and proper mixing of granules and powders. So when we use the preparation of tablet and capsule manufacturing, then we have to control the flow properties. So flow properties, proper mixing of granules and powder, these are very necessary to formulate a good quality of tablet and capsule. So these all depends on the particle size. So particle size or biology of powder is having its self significance. Now, knowledge and control of the size and physical aspects of the particles include following parameters like the particle size distribution. When we take the sample, there may be different sizes particles. Then we have to determine the average particle size or particle size distribution. Then particle shape, particle surface area, then porosity, then different type of densities, flow properties, and compaction properties. So knowledge and control of the particle size and physical aspects of the particle include these important parameters, which is very important regarding the pre-formulation studies of different dosage forms and drugs. So particle size and particle size distribution. In a collection of particles of more than one size, two properties are important. One is given as the shape and surface area of the particle of the individual particles, and second one is the particle size and size distribution. So first one is the particle shape and surface of individual particle is very important regarding the collection of particles of more than one size. So if the particles simple mono dispersed in nature, then there may be particles of similar size or uniform size. But if the samples are only dispersed in nature, there may be different size of particles, and we have to determine the average particle size or particle size distribution. The second one is the particle size and size distribution is the size range and number or weight of the particles. So in collection of particles of more than one size, first one is the shape, then surface area, then particle size and size distributions are very important. Now, factors affecting or influenced by particle size and surface area. So, increased surface area affects the therapeutic efficiency of medicinal compounds that possess a low solubility in body fluids by increasing the area of contact between the solid and the dissolving fluid. Thus, compound dissolve in a shorter time. So, as the surface area is increased, the therapeutic efficacy or efficiency of different medicinal compounds also increase because of the increment or increasing the area of contact between the solid and dissolving fluid. Second one is the extraction. The time required for extraction is shortened by the increasing area of contact between the solvent and solid and the reduced distance the solvent has to penetrate the material. So when we go through the extraction process, it is also affected by the particle size and surface area, and the time required for extraction is shortened by the increased area of contact. So extraction time will be less when we increase the surface area. Particle size is reduced. Then dissolution, the time required for dissolution of solid chemicals is shortened by the use of smaller size particles. So again, this is the very important aspect of the property of particle size reduction, that the time required for dissolution of solid particles or solid chemicals is decreased by the use of small size particles. Next one is the drying. Drying also affected by the micromeritics parameter. The drying of weight mass may be facilitated by the milling, which increases the surface area and reduces the distance the moisture must travel within the particle to reach the outer surface. So by increasing the surface area, the drying of weight mass may be facilitated by milling process. Then the next unit operation which is affected by the particle size and surface area, this is the mixing. Mixing of several solid ingredients of a pharmaceutical is easier and more uniform if the ingredients are approximately the same and small size. So for uniform size particle, it is more easy and more convenient process for mixing of different ingredients. Then lubrication. So lubricant used in compressed tablets and capsules function by virtue of their ability to coat the surface of granulation of powder. It is also the efficiency of lubricant also affected by the surface of different tablet or capsule, whatever the type of dosage form we are using. Now, properties of powder based on particle size and shape. So there are so many properties which affects or which is based on the particle size and shape. First one is the porosity. So when we go through the porosity, it is a derived properties of powder. So derived properties are the properties which depends on the fundamental properties like particle size, shape, surface area. So this is one of the very important example of derived properties of powder, which is based on the fundamental properties of powders like size, particle shape, particle surface area. So porosity is or voids of powder is defined as the ratio of the void volume to the bulk volume of packing. So it is the nothing but it is expressed in terms of percentage, and it is the ratio of void volume to the bulk volume of packing. So porosity can be denoted by epsilons. Mathematically, it is denoted by the formula or equation like Vb minus Vp by Vb, where Vb is the bulk volume and Vp is the true volume of packing arrangements. So it is defined as the ratio of void volume, which is the difference between the bulk volume and true volume of packing arrangements. So powder beds of uniform size spheres can assume two ideal packing arrangement on the basis of particle size. There may be the two type of packing arrangement. One is the closest or rhombohedral, which is known as most often loosest or cubic packing. The theoretical porosity of powder of uniform spheres in closest packing is 26%, and for loosest packing is 48%. So loosest packing means there is a more void space, and in closest packing there is a less porosity. So porosity is one of the important parameter or property which also depends on the particle size and shape. Next one is the density. So density is universally defined as weight per unit volume. Three type of densities can be defined like true density, bulk density, and granule density. Bulkiness, specific bulk volume, the reciprocal of bulk density. It is often called as bulkiness or bulk. So bulkiness increases with a decrease in particle size. So these are some of the examples which also depends on the particle size. Now, when we go through the very important property, which is known as rheological properties or flow properties of powder, so it also affects or it also based on the particle size, shape, and surface area. Powder flow may be in the free flowing in nature or may be cohesive. So factors that affect the flow properties are particle size, shape, surface texture, porosity, and density as well. Angle of repose is one of the important method which have been used as indirect method for quantifying the powder flow ability. It measures the frictional forces between the particles. Mathematically, it is given as tan theta equal to h by r. Theta, which is known as angle of repose, is equal to tan inverse h by r, where h is the height of pile and r is the radius of pile. Then next property is the compression. So the strength of compressed tablet depends on number of factors, and most important are which are particle size and compression. So as the compression increases, the tablet hardness and fracture resistance also increases. So when we go through the compression type of unit operations in regarding the tablet formulation, strength of compressed tablet depends on the so many factors, but the particle size and compression force is very important. Particle size and the lifetime of a drug. Production particle size influences the production of formulated medicines. A solid dosage form of tablets and capsules are produced powdered with different particle size, have different flow and packing properties which alter the volume of powder during each encapsulation or tablet compression even in body. After administration of the medicine, the dosage should release the drug into the solution at optimum rate. So this depends on several factors, one of which will be of particle size of the drug. So particles having small dimension or small size will tend to increase the rate of solution. So particle size, if the particle size is less, then there will be more dissolution and it can be easily solubilized, and then it can be also converted into the more bioavailable dosage form. So in nutshell, we can say that the particle size is an important parameter both for the production of medicines containing particulate solids and the efficacy of the medicine administration. So this is the significance of particle size and its surface. Now, very important term which is given in this slide. This is the equivalent spherical diameter. What is equivalent spherical diameter and how it is measured and what its significance. Now let us see here. So it is more easy to express the diameter of a symmetric particles or a spherical particle, but it is more difficult or not easy to express the diameter of asymmetric particles. So the size of a sphere is readily expressed in diameter, but it is different or it is more difficult to express the particle size of asymmetric particle in a meaningful diameter. So we have to use the different terms which can be combinedly known as equivalent spherical diameter. So equivalent spherical diameter is the diameter of a spherical particle if the asymmetric particle having the same surface area, same volume, same projected diameter, or same stroke diameter, or same rate of sedimentation, then the diameter of spherical particle will be the equivalent spherical diameter for asymmetric particle. So what is equivalent spherical diameter? So the definition of equivalent spherical diameter is the diameter of a sphere having the same surface area, volume, projection area, or rate of sedimentation of the similar asymmetric particle. So if the asymmetric particle having all these things or any one thing similar to the spherical particle, then the diameter of spherical particle will be equal to the equivalent spherical diameter for non-symmetric or asymmetric particle. So equivalent spherical diameter is widely used or specially used in case of asymmetric particles to express their size in a meaningful diameter. So different terms for equivalent spherical diameters are given here. First one is the surface diameter, second one is the equivalent volume diameter, third one is the equivalent projected diameter, and fourth one is the equivalent Stokes diameter. So as I already discussed in the definition of equivalent spherical diameter, now what is the equivalent surface diameter? So equivalent spherical diameter is divided into four terms. One is the equivalent surface diameter. It is the diameter of a sphere having the same surface area as the asymmetric particle. Then the diameter of sphere will be the equivalent spherical surface diameter for asymmetric particle. Similarly, the second term, which is represent the equivalent spherical diameter, is the equivalent volume diameter. It can be represented by d small v. It is again defined as the diameter of a sphere having the same volume as the asymmetric particle. So if the asymmetric particle having the same volume as the spherical particle, then the diameter of a sphere will be the equivalent volume diameter for asymmetric particle. Third one is the equivalent projected diameter. It can be represented by dp. It is the projected diameter of a sphere having the same observed area as the particle. So if we go through the microscopy and observe the projection area of spherical particle, and if it is equal to the asymmetric particle, then the diameter of spherical particle will be the equivalent projected diameter for asymmetric particle. Then last one is the Stokes diameter. So equivalent Stokes diameter. Stokes diameter is the diameter which describes an equivalent sphere undergoing sedimentation at the same rate as the asymmetric particle. So if the asymmetric particle and spherical particle having the same sedimentation rate, then we can express the diameter of spherical particle is equal to the or equivalent to the Stokes diameter for asymmetric particle. So equivalent Stokes diameter for asymmetric particle is the diameter of a sphere having the same sedimentation rate as the asymmetric particle have. So these are the different terms regarding the equivalent spherical diameter. And it is very meaningful or useful to express the particle size in a meaningful diameter, especially for asymmetric particle in terms of surface, volume, projection area, or rate of sedimentation. Now, particle size. Any collection of particles are generally in nature of polydisperse because they having the different particles of different sizes. So the sample will be known as polydispersed sample. So any collection of particles is usually polydispersed. It is therefore necessary to know not only the size of a certain particle but also how many particles of the same size exist in the sample. Thus, we need an estimate of the size range present in the number or weight fraction of each particle size. Means how many number of particles having the similar size, or what is the weight fraction of each particle size having the same range. This is the particle size distribution, and from it we can calculate the average or mean particle size for the sample. So because of the sample is in polydispersed in nature, so instead of particle size, we have to know about we have to determine the particle size distribution, and from it we can easily calculate the average particle size or mean size of this polydispersed sample. Average particle size can be given by this formula, which was given by Edmondson. So Edmondson general equation, which is given here, D mean equal to sigma and D to the power P plus F divided by sigma and D to the power F by 1 by P. So here in this equation, N is the number of particle in a size range with midpoint D. This denotes the midpoint, which is represented in terms of micrometers. And N is the frequency or number of particles in the size range with midpoint P. P is equal to 1, 2, or 3, space for the length, surface, or volume respectively. If P is positive, then it shows the arithmetic mean. If P is negative, it shows geometric mean. And capital F represents the frequency index. We can sometimes it can be shown by small f. So in this formula it is shown by small f. So it is frequency index. It is written by 0, 1, 2, or 3 for size frequency distribution being total number, length, surface, or volume respectively. So Edmondson give the average particle size formula. So by the help of this formula, we can determine the mean particle size or average particle size. So when we go through the statistical diameters, so there are different types of mean diameters are given here. So like the length number mean diameter, surface number mean diameter, volume number mean diameter, surface length or length weighted mean diameter, volume surface or surface weighted mean diameter, and weight moment or volume weighted mean diameter. And what is the frequency for each and every type of diameter, and what is the value of size parameter is also given in this table. The formula for determination of each and every mean diameter is given in this table also. So we can express the particle size in terms of different meaningful diameters, and with the help of different formula is given by the Edmondson, where the P and F value depends on the number and length, surface, volume, etc. We can determine the particle size in terms of meaningful diameter by the help of different formula which are showing in this slide. Now, applications of the micromeritics study. So, particle size, shape, surface area, and derived properties are very important as we discussed in previous slides. Now, what is the main advantages or applications regarding the micromeritics? So first one is the regarding the release and dissolution of drug. Second one is the absorption and drug action. Third one is the physical stability of compound, and fourth one is the dose uniformity. So now let us discuss one by one. First one is the release and dissolution. So it is very important when we administer the dosage form either through the oral route or another parenteral route or intravenous route or maybe topical route. So after the administration of the drug should be released systematically and it will be released into the systemic circulation and show their pharmacological action or therapeutic effect. So release and dissolution, how it affects from the micromeretic parameter, let us see. So particle size and surface area influence the release of a drug from a dosage form. Higher surface area allows intimate contact of the drug with the dissolution fluids in vivo and increase the drug solubility and dissolution. So in vivo means when we study the different dissolution rate or dissolution experiment in animals, it will be in vivo, and when it is done in experimental part, laboratories, then it will be known as in vitro studies. So higher surface area allows intimate contact of the drug with the dissolution flow in vivo and increase the drug solubility and ultimately dissolution rate can also increase. Second one is the absorption and drug action. So absorption is a pharmacokinetic parameter. Again, it is affected by the particle size and surface area. So particle size and surface area influence the drug absorption and subsequently the therapeutic action. Because absorption and dissolution, then absorption, then bioavailability is always related with each other. All depends on the particle size and surface area. So higher the dissolution, faster the absorption, and hence quicker and greater the drug action. So once the drug is highly dissolved, the absorption will be faster and the drug action will be more quicker or more prolonged or greater. So it is also related with the drug action and absorption parameters. The next one is the physical stability. So particle size in a formulation influences the physical stability of the different dosage forms like suspensions and emulsions. In suspension, the solid particles are dispersed in a liquid media, whereas the emulsion, the oil droplets are dispersed in the suitable solvent or dispersion medium. So smaller the size of the particle or droplets or globules, better will be the physical stability of the dosage form. So particle size is also related with the stability of different type of dosage forms like dispersions, suspensions, and emulsions. Then dose uniformity, which is very important parameter. Good flow properties of granules and powders are important in the manufacturing of tablets and capsules. And good flow property can be achieved by controlling or by regulating the particle size and surface area. So this is one of the aspect of the micromeritics. The dose uniformity can also control or can also depends on the micromeritic parameter. So any interference in the flowability of powders or rheology of powders or granules may alter the weight of the powder blend and thus amount of drug incorporated in the tablet or capsules and thereby reduce the uniformity of the dose. Now some of the examples related with the application part of micromeritic parameters are given here, like the reduction of particle size improves the surface area and can helpful in improving solubility of certain drugs, like the solubility of raciofulvin can be greatly increased by the particle size reduction. So by particle size reduction, we can increase the solubility of raciofulvin. So it is the one of the example of micronization or reduction of particle size, which may be helpful to improve the surface area, and then it can be helpful to improve the solubility of raciofulvin. The second one is the reduction of particle size can also increase the rate of absorption and consequently bioavailability of many drugs like the tetracycline, aspirin, and sulfonamides, nitrofurantoin, etc. So by decreasing the particle size or by the micronization process, we can increase the rate of absorption and ultimately bioavailability of drugs like the tetracycline, aspirin, sulfonamides, and nitrofurantoins. So these are the some of the example which show the significance of micromeritics or particle size and particle properties. Now, after it, we have to discuss about the particle size distribution. So, as we discussed in previous slides, that the sample which having different particles of different sizes are termed as wholly dispersed in nature. So, we have to know about the number of particles or weight of fraction of the particle having similar size. So based on this concept, there may be different type of frequency distribution curves. So particle size distribution can easily expressed by these type of frequency distribution curve. These are the visual representation of the sizes of particles in a sample. So when we want to show the visual representation of the size of the particles on a plot or graph, with the help of graph, we can present the visual representation of different particle size by the help of these type of frequency distribution curve. So cumulative percentage plots are also helpful. The mode is the size that occurs at the highest frequency, and in standard deviation, which can be used, it is an indication of the distribution around the mean. So frequency distribution curve is helpful to show the size of particles in a wholly dispersed sample. This is the one of the frequency distribution curve is given here, where on x-axis there is the frequency of number of particles are given here, and y-axis the particle size in micromeritics is given here, and the mode or medium value is also showing in this graph. So this is known as frequency distribution curve. You can also plotted in this way, maybe number distribution or weight distribution. So when we follow the number of particles having the similar size against the particle size, then it will be the number distribution curve. When we plot the weight of the particles with the particle size, it will be the weight distribution curve. So frequency distribution curves are two types. One is the number distribution curve, and next one is the weight distribution curve. So cumulative percentage frequency under size can also plotted against the particle size. Cumulative frequency means up to the date sample, what is the particles size or what is the percentage frequency, it can be plotted as cumulative percentage frequency under size. So when we plot the cumulative percentage frequency under size on y-axis and x-axis or EPSICA, when we use the particle size in micrometer, we can plot the number and weight distribution curve. So it will be the cumulative frequency plot of the different data. Now, particle dimensions in pharmaceutical dispersed system. So as we know, there are the different size range of different particles in a particular pharmaceutical dispersed system. So now let us see here. If the particle size is in the range of 0.5 to 10 micrometer, the examples of pharmaceutical dispersion system of this type of sample is suspensions, fine emulsions, etc. The particle size is 10 to 50 micrometer. This is the upper limit of subsieve size range. Coarse emulsion particles or flocculated suspension particles are the example of this size range. If the particle size is greater than the 50 to 100 micrometer, then it can be classified, or it can be give the example of lower limit of sieve range or fine powder range. If the particle size is in the range of 150 to 1000 micrometer, it is the coarse powder range. And if the particle size is greater than 1000 to in the range of 3360, it will be the average granule size. So these are the different particle dimensions in pharmaceutical dispersed system with their different examples. Now the last part of today's lecture is the particle number. What is the meaning of particle number? how it is determined. So a significant expression in particle technology is the number of particles per unit weight, which can be expressed in terms of dVn. So what is particle number? It can be represented by capital N. Particles per unit weight means number of particles per unit weight, n, which is expressed in terms of dVn. So the number of particles per unit weight is obtained by the equation. Let us see. Assume that the particles are spherical in shape. These particles are in symmetrical in shape, or particles are spheres. So when we assume that the particles are spheres, the volume of single particle is pi dq by 6. So you know that the spherical particle having the volume 4 by 3 pi r cube. So when we consider the diameter, then it will be pi d cube Vn by 6, where d is the diameter and the mass is equal to volume into density. So it's pi dVn rho by 6 gram per particle. So because the mass equal to volume into density, so first we have to determine the volume of given particle. So it is given as pi d cube Vn by 6 for spherical particles. So when we multiplied with the density, so volume into density will provide the mass per gram of particle. So the number of particles per gram is then obtained from the proportion. When we solve the equation, we can find that the pi dVn cube rho divided by 6 gram divided by 1 particle equal to 1 gram per n, and n is the particle number, so it can be simply expressed by 6 by pi dVn cube rho. So this is the very important formula for determination of particle number. It can be expressed by the n equal to 6 by pi dVn cube rho. Rho is the density and d is the diameter of spherical particle. Now let us see the example for determination of number of particles. So the mean volume number of diameter dVn of the powder, the data for which are given is 2.41 micrometer or 2.41 into 10 to the power minus 4 centimeter. If the density of the powder is 3.0 gram per centimeter cube, what is the number of particles per gram? So we have to determine the value of capital N by the formula as we earlier discussed. So determination of number of particles can be easily done with the help of formula which is already discussed, n equal to 6 by pi dVn cube by rho, where rho is the density and d is the diameter, volume number diameter of the sample. So you can solve this numerical and find out the answer of what is the number of particles per gram. Now the methods for determining particle size. So these are the different methods. So only we have to know the names of the method. We will discuss all these methods in very detail in our next lectures. So methods for determining particle size, there are total 4 methods like sieving method, optical microscopy, sedimentation, and Coulter counter method. So depending on the different particle sizes and different samples and nature of sample, can use or we can select the different methods for determination of particle size and size distribution. So it will be discussed in very detail in our next lecture. So these are the references of today's lecture. So in our today's lecture, we discussed about the what is the micromeritics and what is the particle size, particle shape, surface area, and its importance in different pre-formulation studies. Then we discussed about the particle diameter expression for asymmetric particles by the equivalent spherical diameters. Then what is the applications of micromeritics in different areas of pharmacy with different examples. Then lastly, we discuss about the particle number and its determination method. So these are all about the today's lecture. So after completion of today's lecture, then you can give the answers of different questions is given in which section. So first one is the science and technology of small particles was given name is micromeritics by Della Valle, Newton, Delogy, or Stokes. There are four options in given, so you have to give the answer. The science and technology word for small particles was given by which scientist? The second question is given here. Flowability of powder is also expressed as angle of contact, particle size, coefficient of friction, or density. So in rheology section, we discussed about the rheology or flowability of powder. So it can be expressed by different type of significant parameters. So you have to select a suitable option from A, B, C, D. Then next question is after decreasing the particle size, the rate of extraction will be A option is enhanced, B given decrease, C is given as no effect, and D is disturbed. So after decreasing the particle size, what will be the effect on rate of extraction? We have to give the answer. The next one is the particle size of bolides having the different ranges. So you have to select this suitable range for particle size of bolides from these four options. Next question is frequency distribution curve is obtained when A option is given as number of particles is plotted against the mean size range. Is the mean size range is plotted against the particle size. C option is given is number of particles in the mean size on y-axis. Then D option is given as number of particles in the mean size on y-axis. So it's C in x-axis and D is on the y-axis. So you have to select a suitable option for frequency distribution curve. Next question is given here. The size and surface area of a particle affects physical properties of products, only chemical properties of products, only pharmacological properties of products. And the option is given as physical, chemical, and pharmacological properties of the products. So we have to see all the options and give a suitable option, answer for size and surface area of a particle affects which type of properties of the products. Then next question is the porosity is expressed in percentage or millimeter or gram per millimeter or Newton. So porosity is also a derived property which depends on the particle size and shape. So we have to give the answer in which terms we can express the porosity. Then there are short answer type questions like the enumerate the applications of micromeritics. We have to give the names of different applications of micromeritics. Then discuss the equivalent spherical diameter with examples. What is the equivalent spherical diameter and how it is used? So we have to give the answer. So I hope after the completion of today's lecture, you may be able to give the answers of different questions which are given in the quiz section. So this is all about today's lecture. Okay, thank you.